right. All right. So we'll go ahead. We'll get started. I'm going to go through just a quick warm up real quick. And then what I'm going to have you guys focus on the first sequence is we're going to be doing a lot of glute and hip stuff. So if you guys did Tyler's class yesterday, I'm sorry. You might be a little sore today. But if you did not do his class, I want you to focus on, do the side of my hips feel sore? And as I'm going through these type of movements, is it fatiguing quickly? Like if you're contracting and you start to feel pain, it feels dull, you don't have connection there. These are signs that it means the body's moving away from that area. It doesn't want to spend any more time with the brain there because we're not giving any activity to it, right? So if you use it, you know the saying, you either use it or you lose it. So we need to make sure, especially if they are becoming a little disconnected, that we're gonna do this daily. All right, you guys need to start doing that kind of homework, 20, 30 in the morning, right when you wake up. All right, you should be able to do 50 leg lifts in a row unbroken for one step of stabilization. So if you think about how many, are you guys doing 13,000 steps a day? Well, times that by 50, can you do that many leg lifts? So that's something that we need to want to look at for the pelvis and then pelvis health. Okay. So, real quick, I'm going to have you guys go standing up, walk out into rotation. So from the standing position, I'm going to walk my hands out, bring my foot up, I'm going to rotate up. I'm going to walk my foot back, and I'm just going to walk my body back in, so where my low back and back rounds, and then I'll come back out. And we'll just do 5 on each side. You can alternate. You can just do that one side, okay? Also, make sure when you guys go into the rotation that you don't drop your pelvis to the floor. Right? We don't want to. Good job, looking good, guys. Got that head following the arm. Awesome. Whenever you guys are done, just stand in front of the camera there. Awesome. Next, what we got a wader bow. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build the awareness of a low, nice back flat, or a flat back, but then I want to be able to get into my hamstrings and focus on my sits bones rotating up towards the ceiling. So when you get into a handcuff position, I want to pull my shoulder blades back and down, hands on the low back. I'm going to keep my knees straight. Okay, weight's going to be in the heels, and I'm going to start pushing my hips back behind me, coming down control. I'm trying to have you guys feel the stretch on the back of the thigh. Then when we get to that end range, I'm going to push through my heels, squeezing my glutes. So my hips are just going horizontal. I drive through the heels, back up. I'll do 10 here. All right, each consecutive one, I want you guys to try to load those heels a little bit more. Try to push your hips back to the wall a little bit more. You can even play with like kind of pulling your toes off the ground just a little bit as you get into the back of that stretch. All right. Next, we're just going to get into the side body a bit. I'm going to have you guys tuck the tailbone. We're going to stand up tall. I'm going to have my hands overhead. I'm going gonna kind of like grip my fingers. And so I got 20 fingers and I'm overhead here. And then what I want to be working from is my mid rib cage here. So I'm gonna think about bending over from the side. Okay, so we're gonna stand up nice and tall, tailbones tucked. I'm leaning, right, bending from the lumbar spine, and then I'm really trying to push this rib cage out to the side. Breathing into that side body. We'll hold for a couple seconds breathing. We'll come back, up and straight. Other side, moving just from the lumbar spine, not letting those hips move. Pushing the rib cage out to the side. Breathing into that rib cage. All right, and then we're gonna do one set of froggers for 10. With the frogger, trying to emulate a squat. I'm trying to keep my low back as flat as possible, pulling myself into hip extend or hip flexion as deep as I can. So my knees are gonna go as wide as they can go. My shins are gonna be straight. The inside of my feet are gonna be pressed into the floor. So I've got a tension marker underneath my knee, on the inside of my ankle. I'm gonna come down to the floor, and I want to make sure my back's flat. So I'm going to go ahead and pull myself into the squat. And I want to make sure I'm lifting my sit bones into the ceiling as we come back down. So we're doing a little cow, trying to maintain that neutral spine as we go deep in the squat. I'm going to push through those 4 points, creating tension in the hips and driving out of the squat. Coming right back down, lifting the sit bones up towards the ceiling, the back flat, so we don't want that low back rounded in the end. Right? We're going to lift it up. Feet off our low back at the table. 10 here. All right, how's everyone doing? Awesome. We'll go ahead, we'll get started here. I will go through the sequence for you guys. So the first sequence, we're gonna do 2 sets of the sequence. So first up, we got is sideline leg lifts. And we're gonna do 2 different positions with the thigh. And so, in my sideline position. Okay. We're going to bring our bottom knee, I'm going to have it slightly bent, and my hips stacked on top of one another. I'm going to slightly bring my thigh out in front of my body. So if you think about a clock, my bottom leg's at 6 o'clock. This leg here is going to be at about 4 o'clock. I'm going to have my head relaxing in my upper arm, and I'm going to internally rotate the leg as I lift. Okay, we'll do this for 30 seconds. I want this to be as controlled as possible. You're going to think about from the hip crease, nothing else moves. So the thigh comes up, the muscle contracts from here. You contract. I don't want to be using my lumbar spine to lift the hip crease to hike the leg. Okay, so if you can only lift the leg over here without moving your pelvis, that's all you're going to do. Okay? So we'll do that for 30 seconds. After the 30 seconds, when you get that line, we'll let it back in line with the bottom leg. We're going to tuck the tailbone. I'm going to externally rotate. And we'll lift into the ceiling, working the different fiber arrangements of the glute med. We'll do that for another 30 seconds. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get into a single leg glute bridge. So I want to have my heel loaded, my heels in line with my hips. Low back's nice and flat on the floor. My other leg, I'm going to straighten. Holding this leg straight, it's going to fly around things. You can give me the slight bend, okay? And then from here, what we're going to do is I'm going to scoop my tailbone into the ceiling, driving the hips, making sure that this side we're driving the hard, squeezing the glute, back down, back down.
Then we'll do 30 seconds on each side. After the 30 seconds, you're going to put both feet down. We're going to go for 45 seconds. We're going to go a 1 second squeeze into the ceiling, back down. 1 second squeeze into the ceiling, back down. 1 second squeeze. Do that for 45 seconds. And then after that, we're going to go, basically, it's a Plyo Ice Skater. I say plyo because I want you guys to try to drive out of the position a little bit. But we're not going to exert all of our force. I'm not trying to have you guys do a maximum plyometric movement. I just want there to be a little bit of kind of like a loading and springing phase. So meaning, I'm going to jump to the side. And the biggest thing I want to do here is I want to stop all movement. I want to load, recreate the movement. So I'll show you what not to do. I don't want you guys to jump in and be like, oh, all over the place, and then trying to like drive out of that. I want you guys to land, try to absorb. So try to absorb down, stop, boom, absorb down. So I'm decelerating, boom, and I'm going to come out of the spring, okay? The deceleration is very important. So before you drive out, even if you're kind of shaky in that position, just try to get to a point where you're like less shaky. You can feel that heel, your heel's on the ground. Okay, we do not want to be jumping in the ball of the foot with the ankle off the ground like that. Okay? It's going to, over time, really wear the knee down. All right, and then so we'll do that for just a minute straight. I don't care about how much you're jumping side to side. I just want you guys to really feel that load in the leg, decelerate, press. Okay. We're going to do two sets of that with a minute rest in between. All right, so I'll get you guys laying down. We'll get on the side. Sideline leg lifts. We're going to start with our leg out in front of us. 45-degree angle at 4 o'clock. We'll lift internally. 3, 2, 1. Whoa. Internally rotating as we lift into the ceiling. Making sure all the movement's coming from the hip. We're not using the lumbar spine to lift the pelvis. We're just lifting the thigh. Same thing, try not to let the foot drop after you get it up there. Try to control as you come down. 3, 2, 1. Leg back in line, tuck the tailbone, externally rotate, lift, go. Three, 2, 1. Go to the other side. Set up with that leg out in front of us. Internally rotate. We will go in 3, 2, 1. Go. Moving into the ceiling, making sure we're kind of pure thigh movement. We're not side bending. Spine. Moving the pelvis. Ten seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Leg back in line, externally rotate, go. No break. Good, guys. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Getting on the back. Making sure those heels are in line with our sits bones. We're going to go ahead and lift one leg off the air, driving through single leg. Go. Squeezing into the ceiling. Back down. Trying to get connection with the glutes, through the heel of the foot. Making sure that the ribs and the hips are together. We're not flaring the ribs as we come into the glute bridge.
3, 2, 1. Other side, go. Three, two, one. Right into our bilateral. Go. Both feet, scooping that tailbone, driving both hips into the ceiling. 1 second, hold at the top. Control back down. Chin's tucked. Knees aren't flaring. Core is tight. Seconds left. Three, two, one, time. Right into our Plyo Ice Skaters for a minute. We'll set up. 3, 2, 1. Go. We're going to jump to the side. Load that heel. Decelerate. Decelerate. Good job. 15 seconds left. And time. Good job, guys. We'll do 1 minute rest, and then we'll go back through the top. How's that feeling for everybody? Good. So for coming, you guys on that jump too, like I know the balance can be an issue. When you step over and you land, like some of you guys are landing a little high with the leg not bent. It's all right to do that. Try to, once you land, give your knee a little bend. Focus on not letting that heel come off the ground. That's where you want to explode and reload, okay? So, also if you're having trouble with the balance, you feel like every time you keep falling over, you can easily jump and use that back toe to tap, set yourself, jump out, and then jump out, okay? All right, 5 seconds left in the rest. We'll get down on the ground, sideline leg lifts, 30 seconds each side. We're gonna start with that leg out in front of us. We'll go in, 3, 2, 1, go. Lifting the leg to the ceiling. Try to focus on feeling that contraction right underneath the hip crease. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. In one line, tuck the tailbone, external tension. Go. Looking into the ceiling. Opposite direction with the thigh. Control the movement. Ten seconds left. 3, 2, 1, time. Boom, we'll roll right to the other side. We'll get into our position. We'll go in, internally rotate. 3, 2, 1, go. Toes down, heel up as we lift into the ceiling. Thighs at about 4 o'clock.
only movement is coming from my thigh, my leg. Five, four, three, two, one. In line, externally rotated, lift that leg, go. Legs in one line, externally rotated, now we're lifting into the ceiling, working with different fibers. Good lead.
Three, two, one, time. Good job, guys. Right into that single leg bridge. Set that heel
In line with the hip, other leg straight. 3, 2, 1, go. Lift that hip all the way to the ceiling. Put your ribs and hips together, not flaring from the ribs as we go up into the air. Our chin stays tucked.
So Robin, I'm gonna have you move the heel away from your butt just like a half inch, yep, and now drive. Yeah, so you see a more glute contraction? And then also I want you to think about you're gonna drive that pubic bone back towards your face a bit at the end. Boom! Better? Time, other side. We might have done that for a minute, that's my fault. Other side. Boom. Same thing on that side, Robin. Same thing with you, Brianna. I'm gonna have you move your foot out just a bit in front of you, or yeah. Now try. Boom. Better or worse? 3, 2, 1, boom, bilateral, both of them, 45 seconds, go. Making sure we're lifting both hips into the ceiling now, right? We wanna make sure that that hip crease comes completely flat. If you're looking at your hip crease and you got a little bit of an angle in it, boom, we're not in hip extension. You gotta go all the way up, right? All the way up. You see a lot of people doing hip thrusts with a lot of weight on them, but you can't get into full hip extension with a lot of weight on your hip. Good. Really make sure you guys are feeling that squeeze from the glutes. When you get to the top, the glutes, the very high hamstring. 3, 2, 1, time. Right into those jumping Plyo Ice Skaters. 1 minute, go. Really focusing on one spot. We're having trouble balancing. Again, we can use that back leg if we need to tap the floor. Load that heel. Good job, guys. Looking good. Really focus on having that heel hit the ground. And time. All right. Good job, guys. All right, go ahead, grab your breath. I'm gonna go through this little second sequence for you guys. How's everyone doing right now? How are we doing? Awesome. Let me guys know if you guys need anything. So, first thing we're gonna do next is a plank shoulder taps. Okay, so obviously the plank shoulder taps, I'm gonna be in a plank position. So, I'm gonna plank real quick. Have my hands out in front of me. I have my elbow facing my fingers. I'm going to go ahead and get to the tall plank position. So I'm on the back of my toes, my hips almost in line with my shoulders, and I'm tucking my tailbone. Right, so I'm not sagging to the floor. I'll have my hips super high. And the shoulder blades are slightly reaching to the floor. Okay? Now from this position, what I want to do is I want to get my phone nice and tight. I'm going to tap my shoulder, tap my shoulder. You can see I'm kind of shifting a little bit. I want to try to minimize that as best as possible, okay? So you're going to tighten your core. Try to minimize that by trying to tighten your obliques, tighten your core to keep the body from shifting, okay? I'm sure when you see a lot of people do that on the Instagram, they're rocking and rolling like that. We don't want to do that. For plank shoulder taps, we're going to do that for a minute. We're going to do roll up, roll down for 1 minute. So roll up, roll down is really just it's an abdominal movement for lumbar flexion. So I'm trying to bring back control of my lumbar spine, lower abs, which are weak when we consistently walk with an anterior pelvic tilt. We're not fully engaged up in a neutral structure, right? So they become very weak. So I want to get my heels hip distance apart. My knees are going to be slightly outside of my ankle to help turn the hip flexor off, okay? I'm going to take a deep breath in. It's going to come out behind me. I'm going to tuck my tailbone. And I'm going to try to lay each vertebrae behind my tailbone all the way until I can control it. For me to do that's about right here. I'll hold for 1 second. And I'll roll up, boom, back down. All right, not letting the arches come off the ground. I want to try to act like I'm melting the arches to the floor, right? Because you're going to help use that resistance through the plantar fascia to help use the fascia as well. So we're still stretching and using the fascia in the feet. All right, we'll do that for 1 minute. The whole goal there is to control the little bit of lumbar flexion that you have. That's it, okay? And then we're going to do a 3-count push-up, okay? If you weaken the push-up and you can't do it on your toes, you do it on the elbow, or sorry, on your knees, completely fine. I'm just right here, I'm trying to focus on getting the best form we can in the upper body, targeting the chest with a 3-second down, and a 3-second eccentric. So, push-up position, same thing as the plank position. I'm trying to get my body in one line. I'm going to reach the shoulder blades slightly to the floor to neutralize them. Tailbone's going to be tucked. I'm going to bring my shoulders, my hips down to the floor in a line. 1, 2, 3 seconds until 1. Push away. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Any questions on the push-up? Easily the most misunderstood exercise in the world is pushing something away from your body. Okay, so you guys have any questions? So just real quick, when you guys are pushing, don't think about I'm trying to push this way. Okay, that's gonna really, you never wanna do that. As you push, I wanna think like I'm kind of pushing my upper body back to push away, right? I'm not pushing this way. I'm gonna push. Okay, so if there was a bench there, I'm like pushing my back into the bench to solidify. Okay, so same thing with the push-up. When I come through, I'm not gonna try to push my shoulders, push myself away. Okay? All right, and then we'll do that for 1 minute. If you gotta do it on the knees, that's fine. It's gonna give you a lot more play with the form and connection. Okay, so if you're really bad on the form, I want you to try to use the knees. Sorry that you guys can't see my face, I just, All right. We'll do that for a minute. We'll go 2 rotations through that as well, okay? So I'll get you guys down on the ground. We're gonna go plank taps. So I'll get you guys in your high, tall plank position, arms straight. Also, the more that you widen your base with your feet, the less movement you're gonna have, okay? So I want you guys to try to play with a foot position that's not too easy, and the one that's not super hard. So you're still struggling, but you're able to keep that straight spine, okay? All right, we'll get in that position.
We'll go in 3, 2, 1. Go. Shoulder taps. Maintain that drop in the plank position.
"15 seconds left. I want you to lift your hips just a little bit, Carla. Yep, right there. Hold that position. Don't let it go. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Good job, guys. All right, right into the roll up, roll down. We'll have our heels in line with our hips, knees at 90, knees slightly outside those ankles. I'm going to take a deep breath in. 3, 2, 1, go. We'll tuck the tailbone. Control and come into lumbar flexion as much as we can. 1 second hold. Back up. Halfway there. Really focus on tucking that tailbone. And I want you guys to think about when you're down in that position, like rounded, right? Try not to come up in that rounded position, right? I want you guys to roll back up on the sit bone. So you're going to go through extension of the lumbar spine, right? So I'm rolling down, right? And then I'm going to roll back up, okay? Time. So really focus on what the sits bones are doing. As you tuck, then you're basically going to tuck the front side of the pelvis forward, if that makes sense, right? We're just retroverting, antiverting. Leaning forward, leaning back. Leaning forward, leaning back. Okay? All right. And then next, eccentric push-up. However you want to do it, we'll get into the push-up position. Pull down the whole body in one line. 3-second eccentric. We'll go in 3, 2, 1. Go. "15 seconds left. Time. Awesome. We'll do one rest, 1 minute, and then we'll pop back in. How'd those feel for everybody? Good? All right. All right. Halfway through our rest. All right, 5 seconds left. We will go ahead and get down to our plank taps. Go ahead, plank taps in 3, 2, 1. Go. Ah. Good job, guys. Roll up, roll down. We're getting to our position. Out front of us, heels, hips distance apart. Now go ahead and tuck that tailbone. One foot at a time goes behind it. Now, come up, knees will sit on the back. Knee extension. Tuck that tailbone. 10 seconds left. We're trying to keep that chest high. The first initiation of this movement is tucking the tailbone, not rounding the thoracic spine. Time. Boom. Right into those 3 count push-ups. Get in your push-up position, whatever you want to do. Go in 3, 2, 1. Go. 3 count down. 1, 2, 3. Push away. 1, 2, 3. Push away. Keeping that nice, perfect plank. Ten seconds left. Time. Good job, guys. How's that feeling for everybody there? Awesome. Also, like, for me, if I'm ever telling you guys to do anything, like I'm telling you guys to do push-ups and you're like, oh, my fucking shoulder hurts, but you're just like trying to get through them because Jeff says to do push-ups, I would just rather you unmute your thing and yell at me and we could work something else out. I don't want you guys ever working through like pain, okay? It can easily be a cue that we can do for you too to like fix it in the motion, or we can always regress and figure out something else, okay? So always an option, just so you guys know. Not saying that you guys look like you're pushing through pain or anything, just to throw that out there. All right. So we're gonna get down on the floor, we're gonna go 90-90. Internally rotated leg. We're going to go ahead and we're going to get into a passive stretch here for the internal rotation. So what I want to do, on 90 degrees, my knees, ankle, hip. Okay? My belt buckle. Right now I'm facing here, I got my sternum, everything is the face. I'm going to rotate my belt buckle to my side knee. Wherever the belt buckle stops moving, that's where I'm going to leave the sternum.
I'm going to make sure, again, the knee is on line with the hip. Move the hip structure back. That knee is going to be too far forward now. First setup. Okay? So make sure now, going good. Now, I'm going to use these hands to keep my torso as close as I can to my knee, meaning that after we get out of this stretch, I'm going to have you guys put your hands like this. I don't want you guys to fall out super far where I have this huge angle now, right? Because I'm stretching, and I have you guys pull and get here. So we want to keep all of this. We want to use this. So after we get out of the stretch, I'm putting it right behind myself to keep that. You see how I haven't fallen back on my torso? And then we're going to go through that pushing and lifting, okay? So from here, I'm going to grab the ankle, I'm going to grab my hip, and now my chest is tall. I'm in line with wherever my belt buckle is, and I'm going to try to side bend myself. So right at my hip, I'm trying to side bend. Up high in the chest or the shoulder, I'm trying to side bend more to where I'm grabbing. I'm trying to sit up more, meaning more torso closer to the knee. Okay? You should feel the side of the hip here. You can cramp, you can feel a contraction, you can feel tight, a whole bunch of stuff, okay? If you feel crampy, that's all right. It's just neurological confusion. Body doesn't know what you want to do. So if you're cramping, it's usually because you're in the right area. You're in the right area to do work. Okay? All right. I'm going to slowly let one hand behind me, keeping my torso tall. Okay? We're going to take a deep breath in to the core. Breathe in. We're going to hold that. I'm going to start pushing both points into the floor. My ankle right underneath my knee. We'll go 10%, 20%, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. As hard as you can hold. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to get back into the stretch. So I'm going to grab those 2 points. I'm going to sit up tall. I'm going to let go of those 2 points. I'm going to radiate out. So I'm sitting up by myself. And I'm going to try to lift those 2 points off the ground and add internal rotation to the system. Go. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So all I'm doing on that second part is the first part, but active, right? So we go into the stretch and I grab and we're doing that. We let go, we push. When I come back into that second movement, I'm just trying to get deep into the stretch, and then I'm going to let go and I'm going to radiate my hands to hold myself there, and then we're going to try to lift those 2 points to add internal rotation to the system, okay? Anyone got any questions on that? All right. We'll go to the other side. We'll make this thing up with our hips as best as possible. We're going to go ahead and rotate, up the sternum. Up the sternum stops. So make sure that knee is off the side of the hip, 90 degrees of the hip, knees, ankles. I'm going to go ahead, grab my ankle, grab my hip, and I'm trying to keep my chest tall and side bend towards this spot. Trying to sit up more and taller. Left behind. Keep that torso nice and tall. I'm going to start pushing into the floor. Those 2 points will go 10%, 20%, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. As hard as you can hold. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll continue into that stretch. We'll let the hands lift up and try to let those 2 points go. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
How's that feeling for everybody? Awesome. If it hurts like mine do, you're doing it right. It sucks. Try to take it as deep as you can. All right, in that position, I know it's hard. Sometimes the pelvis feels like it's off to the side. It's hard to sit up. The whole goal there is trying to get the pelvis up, right? I can use my hand all day to situate the torso up there. But if I'm in this like side bent position to hold myself into a 90-90, is this really beneficial? No, I'm side bent to hell, right? And we're trying to stay upright. So if you ever feel like you're using your hand to stay upright and you got this big like hurting, you feel like you're side bending a lot, try to fix the pelvis. Okay, try to get the pelvis underneath you, guys. All right. So biceps femoris here. We're going to do the hamstring. So I'm going to have everybody real quick. We're going to stand up. This is what I want you guys to feel. The waiter bow that we did earlier, right? The movement that we're going to be doing in this position is a hinge. So I'm standing up. Here's my hip crease. The front of it dips down as I lift the sit bones. That's what I'm trying to do in this position that we're going to get in to stretch the hamstring. Hamstrings attached to the sit bones. So when you pull them up, they start lengthening. Okay, so on the floor, up on the sit bones as much as possible, meaning that I'm not on my back when we're doing a roll down. My back is as flat as I can get by sitting up on my sit bone. Other leg, we're going to open up. I'm going to bring this leg toward my midline. We're going to internally rotate the thigh. I'm going to push my knee out into my finger. And then the toes are going to reach back to my opposite shoulder. Ankle's going to reach away from the knee. And I'm pushing that heel out, keeping my pelvis at home. And now I'm sitting up tall, hands out, and this is the hinge. So when I say I'm going to hinge forward, I'm going to reach my torso forward, push my hips behind me like I was standing up. So if I was standing up and doing this inverted. Okay, I'm pushing hips behind me, rotating the sits bone up towards the ceiling. As you rotate the sits bones up towards the ceiling and do that hinge I just showed you, feel the back of the leg tighten. Does everyone feel the back of the hamstring? If you do not, try to sit up more from the hips. You got to sit up on that sit bone. The body's going to inhibit this. Slowly relax. Does everyone understand what I'm talking about? Right, with the straight leg, I'm here. My straight leg's out. We get that internal rotated position to pull the fascia down. I've got tension coming down. And now when I say hinge, right, the sits bones. And they pull away from the heel now. And now I'm reaching out through the heel, the big toe coming up through the hand. Okay? Does everyone feel it on the back of the hamstring? All right, great. Other side. Open up the other leg. Bring our other leg toward midline. Hips are in one line. I'm going to internally rotate the leg, push the knee out toward the opposite shoulder. I'm going to sit up tall, chest up. I'm going to hinge, pushing those hips behind me, rotate the sit bones up towards the ceiling. And then just a slight rotation towards the side for stretching. Making sure the opposite hand does not press across the knee. No worry. Have a good one. All right, we'll slowly relax. All right. Next, I'm going to have you guys lay down prone. What I'm going to do here is my knees are in one line. I'm going to pick whatever leg I'm going to stretch. I'm just going to slightly move. So you can see I slightly moved my leg away from my body. I'm now going to bend my knee. I'm going to grab that guy with the same side arm. Okay? And I'm grabbing my foot, the inside of my foot. So I'm grabbing over the top of my foot to grab the inside of my foot. My knee is slightly reaching away from the body. And I'm going to pull my heel towards my butt. So my knee is outside of my butt, my heel's towards my butt, and I'm going to tuck my tailbone. Okay? You guys should feel a stretch in the medial quad here. Okay, so I'm taking the knee outside the body, and I'm going to bring same side arm, right? So my heel's out. I'm bringing my heel into my butt with my knee out. So I'm creating that oblique, and then I'm tucking. So you should feel that right in the teardrop there. Slowly relax. We'll go to the other side. Go ahead and put the knee outside the body, grabbing that foot with the same side arm, bringing the heel towards the butt. I'm going to tuck the tailbone, tuck, tuck my chin, my head open to that side for stretching. we'll slowly relax. How does that feel, guys? Awesome. All right, I'm gonna bring you guys over to the wall. I'm gonna do 2 Eldos on the wall. Oopsies. Oh, fuck. Hold on, I messed it up. Oh, God. Oh, look at that. All right. I'm gonna take you guys over to the wall here. We're gonna do an Eldo for one of the parts of each of the SI joint, and then we're gonna get into L5S1 to finish the class like we always do, okay? So. All right, so with this guy, if you guys have ever done L5S1 with me before, it's going to be the same setup in relations to the hip and the spine and everything, okay? So we'll go ahead. I'm going to let my hips get up on the wall. If you got a low back issue, I want you to shimmy into this guy super slow and light, okay? So I want to make sure, this is very important, okay? I want to make sure that both sides of the SI joint, the sacrum, are flat on the ground. Okay? If you have any little bit of torsion, it's going to travel up the spine, and you don't want that. Right? So both sit bones on the wall, low back's on the floor. My back, my spine is nice and flat into the ground, and then my heels are in line with my sit bones. So let's see my feet a little bit. I'm going to take one foot. I'm bringing it in towards my midline, so I'm trying to drop my knee into my midline. So I have one leg straight, one foot slightly internally rotated on the wall like that with the knee coming in, okay? So now what I want to do here is I want to put a finger on this knee. I want to continually drive it in until it stops. We hold that tension. I'm going to put a finger right on the top of the kneecap. That's going to reach wherever the knee's pointing into the ceiling, the very tip where the femur and the tibia come together. That tip's going to reach wherever it points. And then we're going to go get into L5S1 position. So my chin's tucked, my low back's nice and flat on the ground. We're going to go overhead one arm at a time. Chin's tucked, I'm pushing my crown of head away from my low back, and I'm just making sure low back stays on the ground, both sides of the SI joint. Knees reaching away from the pelvis is staying on the ground. We are growing through the hands, chin's tucked, I'm trying to flatten my back to the floor. 3, 2, 1. We'll slowly relax. We'll resituate our pelvis on the wall. Make sure we're nice and straight. And now we're going to go to the other side. A little bit. Bringing the foot down into the ankle crease. Internally rotating. As you guys can see, this knee does not move that much internally. Wherever it stops, then we push it to the ceiling. Other toes are back towards the face. Low back's into the ground, slightly reaching the sit bones to the wall. Sacrum into the floor. Mid-spine into the floor. We're going to tuck the chin. Overhead one arm at a time, and then we're going to go overhead, making sure the spine does not go on the ground as we reach overhead. And now continue trying to grow, chin's tucked, pushing the hands away, sit bones reaching to the wall, sacrum to the floor, tailbone to the floor, knee to the ceiling. And just slowly relax. Go ahead, shake you guys' legs out if you need to. Your arch cramp, move those feet around. Again, I'm going to restructure. Make sure both sit bones are flush on the wall. Make sure both sides of that low back are flush on the floor. And now both feet are going to internally rotate at the hip. Knees will press out, toes back to the face. Low back's flat, ribs are down. Chin's tucked, trying to reach the neck to the floor, pushing the crown of the head away. Eyes are open, looking down the body between the thighs. Go over our chest, one arm at a time, externally rotating shoulders, wrists back, fingers splayed.
We'll go overhead, reaching the heels away from the hands away from the heels, crown of the head away from the tailbone, tailbone away from the crown of the head. Pushing the sacrum to the ground and breathing. In, out. Big exhales, do not hold your breath. And we'll slowly relax. I'll have you guys come off the wall, shoulders, knees as one, so I'm not here and going like that and leaving my low back on the ground. Now, if you have good mobility, there's nothing wrong with this. Most of us don't. A lot of us have low back pain, so the best thing to do is just try to keep the body out of torsion, especially coming in and out from those positions, okay? So we can constantly move our shoulders in one line, and then we get up. Awesome. Oh, that's not my camera. How's everyone doing? Doing well?
Yep. Well, I was one of the poor souls that took Tyler's class yesterday, so both of you guys just destroyed my hips.
That's the way it goes.
Feeling good.
Yeah, I'm glad you had a good time. All right, well, you guys have a great day. Thanks for coming out, coming to class. You know, we still have these online training guides, workout from home training guide. You want to train with me on your phone training guide. I got all the training guides. Training guides, however you want to do it. We got it, okay? Just kidding. Just, if you guys seriously want any programming, feel free to reach out to us. You can reach out to myself individually or Red Dot, whatever, and we'll get you guys on track. So just so you guys know that. Okay?
Yeah.
No worries. You guys have a great day. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Thank you.